Continuing on to the last video I made with the cab and the roof intersection, I've used these brand new tile modified 2x2 wedges, the part number 7829. Unfortunately, they don't exist in light bluish grey yet, but when they do, it'll be very good for this train. I've used panels here as well to fill in the gaps, and I've not used panels at the top, instead opting for tiles. The side window is slanted so I can add the actual window itself using the slopes that Lego recently made. There is a slight interference here, but in due course when I do build it, it would be fixed. And also the top isn't straight, but I'll just add stickers. I have used beveled gears or something like that as disc brakes for better highlights on the bogies, as well as quarter tiles to make the curve to the flat part extrusion out for the bogies more seamless. The pantograph can be closed in the cutout, which would be good. Unlike the real Tangara, my Tangara has the window going right to there, but I can just use adhesive vinyl to cover it up. But that's fine with me. The roof is neatly capped off at the ends of the carriages. The different heights of the windows, even if the top window would be taller, is different. The bottom windows are 2 bricks and 2 plates, rather than the top windows are 1 brick, a plate and another brick. Since the gangways don't work, obviously, I can remove them if I want to make it go around corners on the R104 curves, because that would be the most scale accurate, and because the wheels don't have much clearance. I will go into more detail as well when I build this train in real life, but I have something else. If there are any guesses on what this train is, it is of course the 4D. The 4D has a G-set style cab, which I haven't got around to making it in the Tangara livery just yet, but I might make that on my Tangara. Since the bogies are 1600mm broad gauge on the 4D train, I have used the 4-stud wide gauge rather than the 3-stud wide gauge on my Tangara. Since I need maximum clearance, I have put the bogie decals on the actual chassis itself rather than the wheels, which does allow it to make curves. The train is slightly different, with having the old Tangara doors, which I have made a Tangara variant on that, more on that another day, and also the top windows are slightly shorter, removing one of the plates. The pantograph's arms are actually slightly bigger than the normal Tangara, as well as the pantograph contact shoe, which is a single pan contact rather than a double pan on the Tangara. So it will be a snowboard piece when I do build it in real life, whenever that may be. And I might get another 4-car set, which is this one, to show off at Brickvention one day. Since there is no panelling around the outside of the bogies, I have added a lot of detail, as much as I could, on the around the bogies, especially not even just the bogies, just random stuff outside of the actual bogies itself, including these like air tanks or something. I haven't created the ladders on both types because the ladders would be too small. Max Production 16 said that the 4D carriages are actually symmetrical, but that isn't the case. I've looked into it and the gangways are different sizes and the surrounding area. The gangways are the same on the Tangaras, even though they might look different. Hopefully this Scharfenberg coupler design can connect to Max Production 16's coupler on his Comenge. The headlights near the angled bit on the train were the hardest to replicate out of the actual cab. When I build this in real life, I'll likely use white adhesive vinyl and black adhesive vinyl to make that curved look, as well as this stud I might shave off in real life, which does mean it will be cut, but it's okay if I don't. I have used a double cheese slope or something like that to fill in the gap, as well as that bracket which has the stud. I have used Max Production 16's Hitachi's chevron design at the front, which looks very great, as well as the 4D doesn't actually have a middle door, so I had to modify the design of the cab significantly. The desk door at the top stays the same though. Most of the other elements of the train are the same, even though that does make it slightly more inaccurate, but I think that's fine because the 4D was very similar to the Tangara, but since the differences are a matter of centimetres or even millimetres, I can't be bothered to build it like that in real life and on Bricklink Studio. On the sides, on the double-decker section, there aren't really something that says Tangara or 4D on the sides, instead just some plain metal bits. On the T car, which is the D car in Sydney's standards, the metal bits in the double-decker section have stickers like saying test train or something, and those green parts I have replicated in. The Tangara I designed uses yellow brackets, but since there's a double pinstripe line, I've used the plates at the bottom in yellow and green as the pinstriping lines. The pantograph cutout doesn't actually have any wedge parts, so that was easy enough replacing the wedges with just normal standard tiles. When I put the 4D and the Tangara next to each other, they appear to actually be very similar in design. And if I just pan down here, you can see the differences. Especially around the pantograph cutout area. You see how the pantograph's actually longer on the actual train itself, especially on the 4D, and how the height actually increases as well as the cutout area as well. The M and N cars are very, very similar, like very similar in design, so it was easy enough converting those designs. And of course the doors changed. The sub-model names are actually the same on the doors and the coupling of the 4D, so it's okay. I'll fix that in due course when I release the files probably. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. otherwise you'll miss on all the future videos. And bye for now.